Hi students. So in the last lecture we have seen the forward pass and backward pass computation. So in this lecture we will see the dummy activity, how actually dummy activity works. So this is a similar type of problem. We can say these are the activities A, B, C, D, E. These are the activities and where the preceding activity is given. So preceding activity, these are the nothing but activity previous to the this A activity, B activity, C activity. So for A there is a no preceding activity. For B again there is a no preceding activity. Similarly for C, A and B is the preceding activity. For D, A and B preceding activity. And these are the time duration, we can say 30, 20, 20. Now we have to determine the critical path and project duration. So before that we have to first draw the network diagram. So we'll start with the A activity. Now here this is a activity A. Before A there is a no preceding activity for A. Similarly for B again there is a no preceding activity. So B must be start from this point again. So here this is a activity and this is a B activity because there is no preceding activity. Then for C, A and B, these are the preceding activity. So for C, I will draw the first C here. Suppose C is here and A and B, these are the preceding activity. So you may say like we can join this line here A as well as the line here B. So this is not possible. Okay, so for that, while this condition there is a dummy activity comes in place. So this is not a logical sequence, so we can give by the way A and B for the same line, then so this is not possible. So for this we are doing the taking the dummy activity. Once again I will draw the activity. Suppose this is a because there is no preceding activity for A. Again this is a B, so there is a no preceding activity for a B. Now how to draw the dummy activity? So here I will use, now for your information, so this is C activity and I will draw, this is a dotted line. So dummy activity, that activity which does not consume any time. Now if you check, so for A there is a no preceding activity, for B there is no preceding activity, but for C A and B are the preceding activity. Now here if you check this, for C A and B, so these are the preceding activity because this dotted line shows the A activity comes here, that not required any time, and this is a B activity. So for C, A and B, these are the preceding activity. Now again for D, A and B, these are again preceding activity, means D must be start from this point. Okay, so for D, B and A and B, these are the preceding activity. So up to this point this is okay. So first you have to draw the rough diagram because you need to correct the diagram at each step. Now if you, when you are going for E, now for this step check, for E again B is the preceding activity. That means here B, this is only B activity. That means you have to draw the activity E from this point, right? So when you are drawing the activity E from this point, because for E B is the preceding activity, so you have to draw from this point only. Now if you check, now again for E, A and B, these are the preceding activity, but that is not possible or that is not given in the problem. For only B is the preceding activity is for E, so we cannot draw E here. So again we have to modify this. So this is one way. Now I am changing the direction of this and then we will solve. So what, instead of this, what will we do? We can keep this C and D here, remove this C and D here, and I will take this A activity somehow forward here. Suppose this is A activity, and now draw the dotted line from this point, and again I will draw, this is activity C and this activity D. Now up to this point, once again we will check what is the answer. So for A there is no preceding activity, for B no preceding activity, for C A and B a preceding activity. So now if you check this C, A and B, here we have drawn this and arrow toward the this side. Now for C, A and B, these are the preceding activity, and for D again A and B, these are the preceding activity. Now we will go for next step. So that is for E, B is the preceding activity. Now here we can draw the activity E. Now if you check here, for E only B is the preceding activity in this case. Now E, B is the preceding activity. Now again for EF, D and E, these are the preceding activity. So first I will draw the F here, and for F, D and E, these are preceding activities. So again I will revise this. So D will be here, I will joining D and E here. So now if you check for F, D and E, these are the preceding activity. Now for G, C and F. So these are the preceding activity. For G, I will draw first. Suppose this is a G activity, and for G, C and F. So these are the preceding activity, C and F. Now again, I will change this or revise this. So here, this activity is C. This is forward arrow, and this activity is F. So I will join F here. So F. Now G, C, and F. These are the preceding activity for G. Now next is for H, D, and E. These are the preceding activity. Now where is H? So I will draw H anywhere here. Suppose I will draw H here. So this is H activity, and before H, which are the preceding activity? So D and E. So at this point, D and E both are coming. So I will directly draw H from this point. Now if you check, for before H, D and E activity is there, as well as before F also D and E activity is there. So that means these are the starting from one point. And then last point is for I, G and H, these are the preceding activities. So I will draw first I here, and here G and I. So here you can draw, this is a G, and sorry, G and H, these are the preceding activities. So here this is a H. So this is a network diagram, and here we can show this is a dummy activity. So while drawing the network diagram, you have to draw the first rough diagram, and then every time in every step you have to correct this, and you have to draw the forward type of arrow here. Now after that you can write the times. So for A, 30 is the time, for B, 20 is the time, again for C, 20, for D, 20, for E, 10, for F, again it is 10, for G it is 40, for H it is 20, and for I it is 30. So by this way you can find the number of ways. Now from starting from this point and reaching up to the last point, there are number of ways. You can draw write down the number of ways, and you will find out the critical path. So I will directly write the number of ways here. So first way is A, C, G, and I. Similarly, second way is A, then D, F, A, D, F, G, I, A, D, F, G, and I. Similarly, third way is B, C, G, I. Then after that B, D, F, G, H. Then after that B, E, F, G, I. So like that, others are A, D, H, I. This is also root, or B, D, H, I. This is another root, or another is B, E, H, I. These are the roots. So these are the available roots. Total 8 number of roots are there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so check, and from these which one is the maximum time? So ADFGI that is having a 130 duration. So that is a critical path, and this 130 is a critical duration. So you can calculate the duration as like a previous problem, and you can solve the problem. And here it will show this is a critical path and this is a critical time. So this is while using the dummy activity. Similarly, we can solve another problem with the dummy activity. I will only draw the network, and remaining part you have to solve project duration and different number of paths. So here this is a problem. So for A, B, C, D, these are the activity up to I, and these are the preceding activity. So we'll start with the A. So for A, there is no preceding activity, means A here we can draw here A. For B, A is a preceding activity, means B. A is the preceding activity like this. For C, again A is the preceding activity, means C starts from here because A is the preceding activity for C. Then for D, B and C, these are the preceding activity. Now again the same case arises. So here for D, B and C, these are the activities, but we cannot join this. Okay, similarly we can D here. So we cannot take the B here and C here. So this is B and C. So we cannot show like this. So for that we'll draw, this is a B and this is C. So here we can take the dummy activity. Here this is a dummy activity which does not consume any time, and this is a D activity. Now here for D, B and C, these are the preceding activity. Similarly for E, A is a preceding activity. So A is the preceding activity, means E is starting from this point. So here A is the preceding activity. Again for F, D and E, preceding activity. Now here D and here it is E. So I will write here, suppose here in case F activity is here, I will write, and for that this D, and here this is a, you can say, E. So for E and D, this is preceding activity. So you can draw diagram like this, but here we have to move on. We will check first next time. For G, C is a preceding activity. Now here is a C. So C is a here. So this activity is C. So here you can draw for G, C is a preceding activity. Then for H, F and G is a preceding activity. So I will draw here H. So here F is a preceding activity, and this, sorry, G is a preceding activity, and for last I, H is a preceding activity. So last one is I and H is a preceding activity. So you can draw this diagram like this, or you can roughly draw this and then finalize the diagram. So I will draw the finalized diagram. So actually I am having answer, so I will draw that diagram here. So you may get the network diagram like this. So this is A activity, then here you can draw the C activity, then this will be the B, and this will be the E activity. So from this C and B you can draw here, and from B this will be the D activity, and that will be joining at this point. So this is the D and this one is the E, so that point. Then after that there is a one point where this activity is F and this activity is a G, then here H, and last one is a I. So this type of diagram you can possible, and you can write the times also here. For 8, for C again 8, for B that is a 12, for E again 8, for D that is 7, for G 21, for F 17, for H 9, and for I 11. And you can find out the critical path. I will directly write the answer here because I am having, that is A, B, D, F, H, I, and which is having a 64 is a duration, that is a critical path and critical time. So in the next lecture we will see the PERT. Thank you.